Hey, Guitar Nerd is here with a quick review of what I'd consider to be the top 3 best quickscope rifles for Modern Warfare 2. And in order for me to consider a rifle to be good at quickscoping, it must be able to one-shot enemies while also having noticeably fast aim-down sight speed, especially with how low the total time to kill is for this game. So with that said, as long as you are accurate with your shots, then I'd highly recommend using the Lockwood MK2. This thing might have the fastest ADS and reload speed, which can make it that much easier to get kill streaks even when you're outnumbered, so if you're interested, then unlock it at level 28 and consider using these attachments. In this case, I used the Lockwood Frontiersman barrel to help with the ADS and movement speed, but you could also use the 25-inch Buffalo barrel if you would like to prioritize the damage range instead. Aside from that, I'd recommend using the AccuShot 5mW laser for ADS, as well as the cutoff stock mod for ADS and sprint to fire speed while using the Longhorn lever for increasing the rechambering speed. However, it is really the scope that is a game changer with this rifle since it helps with hitting your shots more accurately. This is very essential for getting those one-shot kills with the Lockwood because if your shots don't land high enough, then you'll likely get a lot of hit markers instead of those one-hit kills, which is why I recommend using this optic or scope of your preference as well. However, between this, the SBR, and the SAB50, I would still rank the Lockwood as third place since it doesn't pack quite as much punch overall, which can make it more challenging to get as many of those one-shot kills in comparison. With that in mind, the SBR is probably the main quickscoper that most people will try out first since it is one of the first ones that you can get given that it's unlocked at level 7. If you want to give it a try, the attachments I would recommend using consist of the 12.5 carbon barrel for ADS and movement speed, as well as this FSS laser, the ZRL T70 pad extension stock, and the Aim Assist 406 comb to help with sprint to fire and ADS speed. The FSS ST87 bolt is a nice plus for increasing the rechambering speed too. Using these attachments will allow you to quickly ADS while moving around a lot on the map, so you can play a lot more aggro with this type of loadout, but if you'd rather quickscope from a distance, then you might want to consider changing one of these attachments out for whatever scope you prefer. However, I wouldn't necessarily say the SBR is the best quickscope rifle in the game, since the SAB50 has more or less the same amount of punch, while having a noticeably faster ADS, which is essential for getting that many more quickscope kills overall. It is for this reason that the SAB50 is my top recommendation as the best all-around quickscoper for Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. You will need to get the SBR up to level 13 to unlock it, but it is well worth using, especially since you can get plenty of quickscope kills without even having any attachments on it. Once you do level it up some though, I would recommend using the 12.5 carbon barrel attachment for ADS and movement speed, as well as the FSS laser and the Schlager match rear grip for ADS and sprint to fire speed, the FSS ST87 bolt for rechambering speed, and the 5-round mag for ADS, sprint to fire speed, and reload quickness. The shots already hit hard enough as is, so you can use these attachments just to make the ADS even better. And you really don't need to put a scope on it at all whether you're shooting close range or at long range, so I highly recommend trying it out. Now granted, I know there are plenty of other attachments and snipers to consider as well, but from what I've tested out, the SBX80 would be my next honorable mention as a quickscoper, followed by the LAB330. But I found that both of these rifles were a little bit better for quickscoping at longer distances, which may be better for Warzone 2, but not so much for a lot of the maps and game modes for your typical Modern Warfare multiplayer. But feel free to share in the comments below what you think is the best build for quickscoping or for sniping in general, and be sure to drop a like if the video was helpful, and subscribe if you would like to follow along for all the future Call of Duty and Warzone 2 videos we'll be posting on a weekly basis. But until next time, happy gaming!